Hello everyone and welcome back to another exciting Art of War video. Today we're here to talk about a surprise update to the Munitorium Field Manual for Warhammer 40,000.
These are actually going to be quite a few big changes, honestly, and you know, maybe the game is saved early, maybe pre-slate. Oh, I'm actually really excited. As we know, this has not been the most fun couple months of Warhammer, so this is going to make the game a lot better in several ways. So this is going to cover basically 3 army changes. It's going to be the Chaos Knights, the Imperial Knights, and the Death Guard, the 3 meta terrors at the moment. That's probably the best way to call them.
Yeah, and this certainly appears to be a little bit out of sequence. We assume that there is still a larger update to the game coming at some point in the future, but it looks like GW looked at the game, heard our cries for help, and decided to step in and save us.
Yeah, I think the last time this happened was Drakari Admech in 9th edition.
And I think it was more DACA, Michael.
Oh, they did emergency nerf.
Don't forget yourself.
That is true. I did forget about that, actually.
Whose fault is this?
I sinned at one event, okay? Give me a break.
But we're very grateful for this. So if you like this decision made by GW, like the video, if you have any thoughts on them going maybe a little bit out of a schedule to make these changes, let us know in the comment section. Let us know what you think about this decision by Games Workshop. Let us know if you think they got it right. But we're really excited to report on these changes in points cost. If you want to see some of these points changes in action, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. We actually have a game going live today with some of the points changes for these armies being shown on our YouTube channel. Yeah, so if you want to check that out, you want to see this in action, check it out. It's right here on the YouTube channel. It's free. Watch it.
Yeah, easy content.
All right, so where do you want to start here?
I probably think we just go CK, IK, and then Death Guard last. Since Death Guard's changes they're a little more to discuss rather than like, yeah, Knights are just like,
I'm with that.
they're just more expensive, right? Like,
that's fair. So there's no rules changes that accompany this. We just have points changes here. So we'll start with Chaos Knights. Broad strokes, all of the large Chaos Knight models went up 30 points, and a few got targeted to go up 40. So there's a little bit of variation on that, but the Abominant, the Desecrator, the Rampager, up 30. The Despoiler, which is what I would have said was the best of the Abhorrent class Knights, went up 40. And the Ruinator, which I would have said was the worst, went up 25.
looks like they agreed with you.
Yeah. I think this is pretty fair.
Yeah, the Despoiler was rough, dude.
The Despoiler is rough.
I shot so hard.
Yeah, the Despoiler up more than his friends makes a lot of sense to me. The only complaint I have is that the Ruinator could have not moved at all and still would have been the worst knight available. But
that's rough.
That is what it is, man.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I very much appreciate you don't want to risk having one cheaper knight become the new one you spam. So I think I'm content to just not take the Ruinator and move on with my life. But that means that if you were, if you were just taking like 3 Despoilers, that list went up 120 points. But we're not done yet.
No.
The Tyrant went up 15. That's like the Castellan.
Yeah, you didn't see that guy too much.
Not too often. Going up a little bit is nice. He's still more expensive than all his friends.
Yeah.
But actually he's probably a little bit more competitive as an option now, which I appreciate. The War Dogs, all of them stayed the same with the lone exception of the Carnivore.
That is interesting to me, honestly. I'm surprised they only decided to hit the Carnivore because how many dogs do you get in a list now? I can't remember.
If you go max dog hound pack, you can get 14.
Which is still really, really good, right? Like, that, I mean, maybe you see the meta shift to that instead, but.
Yeah, I think hound pack is pretty solid. The Carnivore going up 10, it's like mildly inconvenient, but if I'm being honest from a CK perspective, it's not that big a deal. You took the Carnivore because it was the most efficient one generally.
Yeah.
Like if I just took my Carnivores and replaced them with Stalkers or Huntsmen, it wouldn't be a downgrade.
It's kind of the same thing.
You're just going to change the dog that you're taking.
Yeah.
But it does actually have a real impact on the Hound Pack because that's where you were taking a lot of Carnivores and now you are no longer because plus 40 points does really change that list. That cuts like a whole thing.
Oh, that is actually a whole thing. But writing Knights list is very awkward in terms of your points.
Yeah, I've already spent some time writing Knights lists. I've had a lot of 2020 point lists where I'm like, I can cut a knight.
Yeah, that feels bad.
But I think there'll still be a balance to strike. Then for the Forge World models, the ones in Imperial armor, we see that all of the Cerastus class knights also went up 30 points, as did the Questoris, Megara, and Styrex. The only exception to this is the Atropos, which we looked at lists, was the most commonly taken Cerastus knight, and it went up 40 points.
Yeah, which is not, honestly, it's not that bad.
Perfectly reasonable.
In comparison, the rest of the knights were taken very little.
Yeah.
Right? Lancers were oddly very popular to me for a unit that I didn't think was the best of that class of knight, right?
Yeah.
But they ended up being a really, because I remember going to ATC and like dude, Lancers were everywhere.
Yeah, it's a very effective stat check, actually.
Yeah, I think in comparison though to like say the Despoilers and then the Atrefa specifically, I don't think it really kind of came up to par, but
Yeah.
people like them.
And yeah, and now we can see that the Lancer's 10 points less than an Atropos, but is still 10 points more than a Despoiler.
Yeah.
So that's it for the units. There is one enhancement that went up, which was a Warpborn Stalker for Lords of Dread. That's the one that lets you go up and down once per game. That was a kind of comical 10 points, which felt more like a typo than anything else.
Wait, Lords of Dread has 6 enhancements?
Yes.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. It's the character attachments. They just got more.
I guess that's cool.
It's honestly pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they just a small hit to Lords of Dread there. Ultimately, if you look at this in the context of like what it means for Chaos Knights, you take the list that went up most, which was probably something like the list we saw from WTC, that were 3 Abominants and 2 Despoilers and an Atropos. That list went up 210 points.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of points, and what that essentially means is you're going to take one of your big knights and replace it with an Armiger. If you take that list that was 2,000 on the dot, you take your Atropos, it was 355.
Yeah.
You can now replace it with a War Dog Stalker or Huntsman, not a Carnivore, and then you are 1995, no enhancements.
5 big knights and still 1 dog.
That's still that actually sounds pretty good, right?
That felt pretty good.
When you remember that one of the knights was always like kind of tethered to the home field for a little bit,
Yeah.
and you realize like, oh, I'm just going to put an Armiger back there and then still be pushing 5 knights forward.
This is not.
That's actually pretty good. And I'll tell you for free, what I prefer a lot more than that is instead of that Armiger, taking 1 unit of Plague Bears.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have 35 points, which is dealer's choice of your favorite enhancement.
That makes sense.
Where you could actually, you could take that list I just described and you could say 5 big knights of Plague Bear unit and one of my knights is toughness 12.
And screen's way better, too.
Screen's way better. You still stick your home field. So like, Chaos Knights definitely got a nerf. I don't think they're gone.
No, I don't think so either. It's actually kind of ridiculous to conceptualize that like, oh yeah, this army just went up like 200 points. And it's just like,
That's actually pretty.
wow, actually, it's not that bad. And it's like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah. For myself, if you're running, I think though that this is going to steer people more towards that balance of taking like 3 big knights.
Yeah, I think we'll see like what? Is it like 3-4?
3-4 fits like easily.
Yeah.
You get more than that. Like
Oh, okay.
3-4 still has Rodriguez in it.
Oh,
Sorry, I said the R word.
not wrong, I guess.
Oh man. But you can still get a lot of things into a Chaos Knight list. So as far as meta impact, not a terror anymore, but I would not be surprised to see Chaos Knights in like a month rocking like a 52% win rate.
Which is great. Good job, GW.
Yeah.
Like actually, you're not supposed to delete armies when they get nerfed. So
I'm very happy with this.
Yeah.
As a Chaos Knight player who has not actually gotten to play the Codex so much because I've been a little bit busy on the Emperor Shielding train, I'm actually really happy with this because this is still a Chaos Knight army that I'm interested in playing and I'm excited to play, but I'm optimistic that I will actually have to and get to play more of my games rather than like, oh, sorry, buddy, it's turn 2 and you're dead.
Yeah.
No one actually enjoys that, even the CK player.
No one likes
They
that.
enjoy it the first time, but after that,
It gets old. It gets
real
old
fast.
really, really fast.
It gets old around the lunch break of day 1. So ultimately, very happy with this balance patch for Chaos Knights, both as a Chaos Knight player and a Chaos Knight opponent.
Yeah. And let's move on to Imperial Knights.
Absolutely. So get a little bit of comparison here. We're very much seeing a similar theme for Imperial Knights.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of the same, just notably Imperial Knights has less data sheets than Chaos Knights does. So it's not going to look quite as the same.
So one of their Armiger options does go up.
Yep.
The Helverin goes from 130 to 140, which is, I think, very reasonable for what that data sheet.
What was cheaper than the Warglaive this whole time?
Yeah, that's why everyone was spamming the better one.
That's
Well,
ridiculous.
just because it was better and cheaper. Come on, Michael.
Ridiculous.
Come on, man. You know how this goes.
I can see the Warglaive going down.
I know. Let's not get in place. That's just yet.
It's not that good.
Canis Rex up 35.
This is less than I was expecting.
I was expecting more for Canis.
Yeah.
The Castellan goes up 15, which is the same as the Tyrant. We're going to see the same thing happen to the Valiant in a second. And then all of the regular Questoris class knights go up 30, unless you are the Warden, where you go up 20. So let's just go through the line. Crusader, Errant, Gallant, Paladin, Preceptor, up 30. Warden, up 20. That's actually surprising me. I think the Warden's quite good. He's a -1 damage knight, so like, I would have said that the Warden is actually better than the Paladin, Gallant, Errant. So he still costs 10 more instead of 20 more.
I was looking at, he's still technically 385. Right?
I think that's still very reasonable.
Yeah.
And then we see that all of the Cerastus Knights and all the Forge World regular Knights go up 30 points as well, with the one exception being the Atropos, which goes up 40, which is again the exact same as Chaos Knights. Ultimately, I think that's very reasonable.
Yeah, nothing really stands out to me here. The only knight, or big knight in my eyes that really stood out in the Questoris class was Canis.
Yeah.
Right? Like Canis, I thought what Canis was going up like 50 or something along those lines. Like 415 is expensive, but
I would have guessed he went up more than the Atropos.
Yeah.
Because Canis is
Me too. Canis is really crazy. I still think we're living in a world where like at 415, Canis Rex gets like allied into like a bunch of Imperial armies still.
I would agree.
Which is, I thought they were going to point him out of that.
Yeah.
But doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that as well. But here we can see that the typical Chaos or Imperial Knight list, which was 3 Atropos, Canis, 4 Halverns.
Yeah.
That list is going to go up 195 points.
Okay.
Which is significant. That's the point where you can take the standard list, which I would have said again was, 3 Atropos, Canis, 4 Halverns. You can cut 1 Atropos for an armiger of your choice, and then you can probably add an enhancement. But like, not a crazy enhancement, right? Maybe
Probably a lot better.
Maybe one of the cheap ones.
Imperial Knights to me were like, man, sometimes that army was just too much, right?
Sometimes.
Like, because they have the feel no pain everywhere. Like Canis is crazy. The 4/4 was such a nightmare to actually chew through.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I encountered it, I was at ATC actually when I first was playing my Thousand Suns. I like killed 2 big knights and 2 armatures in turn, and I was like, oh my god, you still have 2 big knights, 2 armatures left, right? Like I'm gonna die.
Thousand Suns player kills half of the opponent's army. Screams.
Well, I lost my whole army after that.
Look, I got 20 0'd by the list you just described, so you did a little better than I did there. I'm happy to see that archetype take a significant hit, but again, it doesn't feel like they have removed knights as a playable faction.
No, I don't think so either, which I'm very happy to see. This is an excellent, really good job. The only thing on this one, small options, I think Canis could have moved more.
Yep.
But that's a small, minor change. And we're ultimately talking about like 15 or more points, and that's it. Yeah. That's not that big of a deal.
I would have gone 15 more and called it a day.
Yep.
Honestly, I would even consider like an allied Canis Rex cost.
I actually do think allied Canis Rex should have a different cost. I think so too. I think knights in general should go like that, because demons are like that now, right? Each of them have different costs. I think knights in the future, I see that.
I don't think demons do yet.
Demons only technically do because they're in the books now.
Oh, for the godly.
Exactly. Yeah, the godly ones. Yeah, they technically have a different points. I forgot generic CSM.
And Chaos Knights.
Oh, and Chaos Knights. Yes, they technically, that's kind of weird. So we have allied costs, but don't have allied costs at the same time.
But then they have a battle line tax.
That is true. That is true.
It is weird. Ultimately, though, good change here for Imperial Knights. I think this is the same thing as Chaos Knights. I think this is very much an improvement for the game.
Yeah, this is a big deal. I'm very happy to see this.
All right. So there's one more of the bad guys. We've already gone through mine.
It's my bad guy now.
This is your bad guy.
Death Guard. So I'll be honest. I was a bit surprised at these changes. So let's go through them. I'm just going to go top to bottom. There's a lot more data sheets here than Knights, and they all have different jobs. So you have to evaluate all of them separately, right?
Yeah, of course.
So the Putrefier went up 15 to 60 points. Death Shroud Terminators are going to go up 20 points for the 3-man, and then actually the exact same for the 6-man. Yes, 6-man is plus 20 points, which I think is a good thing to see here, because the 6-man actually wasn't that popular. You really didn't need that.
I think if they didn't go up at all, you would see some trouble, but I think that's a reasonable choice.
The regular Fetid Blow drones, not the heavy blight launchers, went up plus 10 to 100 points.
Sure.
Heavy blight launcher drone plus 20 points to 120.
It's a start.
Foul blight spawn plus 15. This one surprises me a little, to be honest with you. I do actually think he's quite a good unit, especially since I've been like experimenting with the champions a little bit more. Actually, 75 just feels a bit hefty for this guy, but he is a no advance aura with fights first on his unit. So I mean, that's like not This is not bad. At the end of the day,
Easter rules.
yeah. The Plague Marine builds felt mostly fine to me at the end of the day. So not a bad change by any means. Lord of Contagion plus 10. This surprises me. I thought he might actually sit.
I actually was surprised he didn't go more.
You really think so?
I mean,
I thought 110 was very expensive for what that guy. He's very good. I'm not arguing he's definitely a very good model, but he is a 110 point character.
Maybe I've got a little bit of jealousy because I look at a Space Marine captain compared to Lord of Contagion.
Yeah.
And like those aren't the same data sheet.
I think that what they're really trying to do is say, don't run 2 of them, please. Just run 1 and move on. That's really probably what this point change is.
Like a unit with a unit of Death Shrouds with a Lord of Contagion, no matter what size your Death Shroud unit was, went up 30 points.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that still feels like that's a useful package for that.
I guess Death Shroud are not going anywhere, by any means. Like,
that's
great, right?
Pretty good still.
Lord of Violence up 10. This is very reasonable. This is actually a very, very popular model, especially in the Mortarian's Hammer build. And then every Death Guard list has a reason to run him because of the real Heroes of One, right? So I think this is a pretty reasonable change. And then next up, we are going to have the Mephitics. They're plus 10. The 2 models went plus 20, so plus 10 per model still.
Sure.
Plagueburst Crawlers plus 15. They get up a little more than the other tanks. I could have seen this even more, to be honest with you.
I could have seen it going more.
I could have seen this more. Mortarian's Hammer has been a big problem running around. I mean, it's winning all the events, tearing up teams. So we'll see if the Plagueburst Crawler still makes it in the list. Like, the Hammer build ends up going up quite a bit here, but we actually still have more changes to go. So the Tallyman is going to be plus 10 points. Poxwalkers for a 10-man are going to be plus 5. Notably, the 20-man is going to stay the exact same because the 20-man was like pre-nerfed, basically.
Yeah,
conception.
No need to nerf it more. Yeah.
Typhus is plus 10. This one's a bit surprising to me. Typhus has not really appeared in many.
I feel like that was actually preventative one.
It was probably just preventative.
Like nerfing the Ruinator, right? Like, you take the cheapest of the Terminator characters and you bring it up at the same time just to make sure.
And then the only enhancement we're going to see change is the Tendrillus Emissions, Mortarian's Hammer. That's the lone op Lord of Violence. That's just going to go plus 10, so 20 to 30.
I mean, that certainly was an enhancement, right?
Yeah, it's just great. You see it in every unit. So
like, if you took like the very typical Death Guard Hammer list, how much is this going up? Because none of the numbers you said were crazy. Like, nothing went up more than 20.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of them.
There's a lot here. So Hammer specifically is getting railed. Like, so it's 12 holes total normally, right? Or somewhere between 10 to 12. Each of those are going up somewhere between 10 to 15 points. So that's 90, 165?
I know across 12.
Oh, after 12. Yes, after 12. So it was 165. Death Shroud went up. You saw somewhere between 2 to 3 units of them per list. So that's plus another 40, plus 10 on Lord of Contagion. So we're sitting at like 215-ish.
And then you've got Tendrillus Emissions and Lord of Virulence.
Yeah, and Lord of Virulence and the Tallyman that you often actually saw, I can't remember, and the Poxwalkers plus 5. And so it's probably actually, if I had to guess, it's around 250-ish. Around 250-ish.
You know what? That actually adds up more than I expected.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I read these points and I was like, these are like, there's a lot of them, but I think I wasn't factoring in that it was just 3 of every single thing that went up.
I think this is an appropriate change. I do not actually think this is an overreaction by any means to Death Guard because they left a lot of the totally fine units to be totally fine. Do I think a couple units in this army actually maybe could have seen some like compensation? For instance, Blight Lord Terminators are off the top of my head. 5 of them need to be 185. No, they could have gone down. But it's kind of hard when they're the kings right now, so it's hard to give them any love because they could easily like think they've nerfed this army enough, get it a couple compensation buffs, and then we run into like Drukhari tear problems, and then it's just like they just live forever, and it's just too much. The builds like Champions of Contagion, currently my Champions of Contagion build went up, oh gosh, not actually too much. It's like 20.
If you're not spamming the hole, it's
50, like 60, 70 points.
Oh,
it's really not that bad. No, I'm forgetting the heavy blight drones. So like 120-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone just takes the blight drones, right?
Yeah, everybody takes those. So.
That's entirely reasonable.
I think so too. I think the not whole spam list still going up about 150-ish is probably appropriate because those armies are still really quite good. Index also notably gets hit quite hard here because it was running the 9 holes, which is going to run you about, I think, 105 points on that. Yeah. So I'll be curious to see what the shape of Death Guard moving forward is. What's nice is you have a lot more breathing room now in terms of like list exploration. You don't have to run all of the holes because that's like the huge problem right now with every other Death Guard build. It's just like, oh yes, I could attempt to run this Lord of Violence and 2 Blight and 5 Blight Lords. Or I could run 3 bloat drones.
I mean, when you put it like that, right?
Like, it's just not,
Yeah.
this is not a fair comparison.
Yeah, I mean, if you took a balanced Death Guard list and you just cut like 3 Death Strads from it, that's really not that bad from
No.
what you were at.
No.
Right? If you were at the balance, you're up about 150, you cut a 160 point unit, you move on with your life.
Yeah.
That's really not bad. And then maybe the more expensive hull spam ones that aren't full hull spam, you cut like 2 mower drones, call it a day.
Yeah, and
200 points off.
It's more like you like lose one and then like the other one turns into something.
Yeah, like a Poxwalker.
Yeah, like a Poxwalker.
I mean, I think these changes are enough because Death Guard really felt like it was a too much stuff problem.
Definitely too much stuff problem. The Death Guard rules are mostly fair, right? The only rule to me that is really maybe too good is the Death Shroud in my eyes. I'm not convinced that the Death Shroud needs 6-inch deep strike.
I was actually really hoping it'd go to 7-inch deep strike.
Yeah.
It's not to be funny.
I mean, it would be nice actually because it's a significant math nerf, genuinely. The difference between 6 and 7 on the dice is enough that you're going to see more failure points, as well as it makes it easier to screen. Because that's really the big issue, is that screening 6-inch deep strikes everywhere on the board because it just keys off contagion range makes it very difficult for your opponent to think of every angle. Because in my play pattern experience with them, it's like your opponent has to think about all the timelines. So it's like, well, what if you actually roll a really big advance over here? Or what if your Lord of Poxes that has plus 3-inch contagion range, like jumps out of this rhino, dumps 3 inches, and accidentally tags this one of you in the corner? Oh, all of a sudden I'm deep striking your home field. It's just too much, right? It's genuinely too much. So I think Death Shroud are winners, believe it or not, even though they got plus 20 points.
They're still so dynamic for what they are.
Yeah, that unit is still really, really good. So I'd be very happy if I was that. The big 10-man Plague Marine squad technically got hit, like the Putrefier Blight Spawn combo went up, 30, which is fine.
But also at least the Plague Marines themselves didn't go up.
I'm very happy Plague Marines themselves didn't go up because I think Plague Marines are actually,
I think that's
totally
reasonable.
fine. They're very fair.
Yeah. The characters, 45 points for a Biology Putrefier was just a comical number.
That was just like a question mark because it's weird because every other single Death Guard character is pointed in the 60 to 70 point range.
Yeah.
And it was only the best one that was 45 points. I don't know how that one happened at the end of the day because crit 5 lethals on every single weapon in your unit is just,
That
it's
was
amazing.
It was pretty good.
Right? Like, it's crazy. So
I'd be happy with just paying 60 for him.
Yeah, I think 60 is just fine. I think that's going to be a good change. So the future of Death Guard builds are good. It's viable. This army is definitely not deleted by any means, unless you're Mortarian's Hammer. I think Mortarian's Hammer is just, it's over, right? Like,
Just move on, play Virulent now.
Index or Champions are very interesting to me. Flyblown is also another interesting detachment.
These are just more interesting to play against.
Yeah, you just have way more interesting armies to play. You're going to play against an actual Death Guard army. You're not going to play against the, oh, look, it's indirect o'clock. You rolled a bunch of mortals and I'm like, oh, I died.
I hate just getting shelled by those things.
Yeah, it was agony. Absolutely too much. So Mortarian builds are in check. The Demon Prince builds are in check. Plague Marine builds are in check. This is a good future for Death Guard. And I am excited to kind of get back in the mines with them and actually solve the army. I've been kind of holding off like a ton of reps on this army because it was like rather apparent what was going to happen, right? So now I can finally actually get to work.
Yeah, and so we're not seeing any rules changes at the same time as this. We'll see what the future holds. But for right now, this feels like a very good step across the 3 top armies in the game right now.
Yeah.
I love seeing all of these changes, and I think that this is going to give a little bit of breathing room for the rest of the meta. And I'm actually hoping that this will give a little bit of an opportunity for other armies to shine and distance themselves before we get what I assume is an upcoming balanced data slate sometime before the end of the year.
Yeah, and then like big applause to UW on being willing to release this early. I cannot express enough how great this actually is for the game. Because like, I mean, even myself, my motivation to play singles the past couple of months has been bad. Because I was just like, I could go play Death Guard and Knights all weekend, but why would I like choose to not have fun?
I was actually about to cancel my ticket for a tournament that I had bought because I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to go play it. I think we can stomach through this. We got this.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be fresh on the single scene again right now because it's been so boring watching just Knights and Death Guard tear absolutely everything up. So there's going to be definitely some new kings in the meta. lots to explore. I think some big winners from these armies actually disappearing is currently Thousand Sons. These are actually really big Thousand Sons predators. The Multivariants hammer build and the Knights builds were generally on GW terrain specifically were quite good into Thousand Sons. So I think that would be actually kind of cool to see.
Can I nominate one too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Emperor's Children and Tyranids.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Emperor's Children especially. Yes. Right? Like this is a really big deal for Emperor's Children.
Yeah, I know a lot of EC players were struggling with the Death Guard matchup. Knights, the more big holes they had, the harder it was to play against. And so I'm really excited for this. I think those are two viable armies that are a little bit down in the dumps because they struggled with answers for the very top end. Because you just like didn't have good data sheets to sub in to solve the problems. Or you couldn't like space your way out of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll just cut my Gladiator Reapers and a Scout unit to get Vindicators in. Like, it wasn't really an option. So really excited for this thing. It's going to open up a lot of armies right now. And hopefully you're as excited as we are. If you are excited to see a little bit of the new meta, a little bit of a preview, check out the live video that we're putting on YouTube today. If you want to watch a battle report involving some of these new points, it's going on the channel right about now. So thank you so much for watching this, everyone. Please leave a comment. Let us know if you agree with the decisions made here. Let us know what you think about these changes, and let us know if you like GW going out of their normal schedule. I always like to give them a shout out when they do things that I think are good. And so we're very grateful for GW for giving us this to talk about, and we'll see you all next time.
Later, guys.
Bye-bye.